It's been 50 years since Arthur Ashe won Wimbledon, and to celebrate, at the beginning of each of our daily Wimbledon pods, we're teaming up with the Arthur Ashe legacy at UCLA to share stories that bring that win to life. Enjoy the pod.
And Arthur, the night before, he'd always lost to Jimmy, practically always. And he knew this was going to be his one and only chance of winning Wimbledon. And Donald, Dell, and Charlie, Passerelle, and Arthur went off to the Playboy Club in Park Lane the night before and worked out a plan. It was the place to go in those days. It was, everybody think Playboy Club. It was, everybody went to the Playboy Club. You got served by bunnies, but so what? And there was gambling, and Arthur liked to play roulette and all that. He was quite a little gambler, Arthur. And they worked out a plan. And the plan was to give Jimmy Connors no pace. But that was a problem, because Arthur's whole game was built on wham, bam, thank you, man. How hard can I hit the ball? With that sweeping forehand and lovely backhand. And he blitzed players, with his power. But he knew if he tried that against Jimmy Connors, he was going to lose. So he completely changed his style of play, which is the most incredibly difficult thing to do for an athlete at that level of sport. And he dinked and drop shot and pushed and lobbed. And Connors was totally bewildered. He didn't know what to do, because he couldn't generate any power off these little dinky, pushy, soft balls that Arthur was throwing at him. And so he collapsed for 2 sets. Someone yelled something out of the crowd to come on, Jimmy. And he yelled back, I'm trying. He was livid. Jimmy was not a good loser. Mm-hmm. And somehow he got back into the match and he won the 3rd set. And I thought, here we go. Because so many people, this was the critical moment, so many people in that situation would have panicked and thought, my ruse worked for a bit, but he's cottoned onto it. And the instinct would have been to revert to norm. Mm-hmm. The instinct would have been just to flick the switch and go back to how Arthur played tennis all his life. But he didn't. He kept looking at his little notes of the thing and totally serene, totally calm. And he said to himself, no, I'm going to stick with this. And Jimmy Connors fell apart again in the 4th set.
Wow.
And it was the most intellectually, tactically brilliant victory I've ever seen, virtually in any sport. Wow. Because for a person of Arthur's stature to change that dramatically against a player of Connors' stature in the most important moment of his entire life. I mean, being able to say Arthur Ashe Wimbledon champion or Arthur Ashe, 2 different things. Arthur would have been great anyway. He'd have been loved. He'd have achieved great things in life. But winning the Wimbledon title was huge for him. Mm. And for black players everywhere, for African Americans, for every black sportswoman or sportsman in the world, having a black male Wimbledon champion to join Althea Gibson as a black female Wimbledon champion was just a wonderful boost for black sport. And Arthur was well aware of that.
Hello guys, welcome to the Black Spin Global Podcast. I am Lucy.
And I'm Eugene.
And welcome to day 1 at Wimbledon live.
Crazy.
From SW19. Yes, guys, we are very much on site.
Feel free.
And we'll be here giving you daily pods at Wimbledon, covering the black players during the championships. I hope you guys also did enjoy the Arthur Ashe oral history. So as I said at the beginning of the pod, every single pod that we're going to launch during Wimbledon. There will be some oral histories about Arthur Ashe and his win, the impact of the win, and so on. Just like random quick things just to educate you and to celebrate this 50th anniversary win. And yeah, these are stories that people don't really know much about. So even the one that you just heard, it's very rare for people to talk about the tactical things that Ashe did to win that match. So I'm really glad that we were able to get that from Richard Evans, the one and only
Legend.
very good friend of Ashe and also a legendary journalist himself. So yeah, again, a massive thank you to Arthur Ashe, legacy at UCLA. And I really hope you guys do enjoy this. It is important for us to share our Black history.
Indeed.
And the fact that we are Black people, a Black tennis podcast. Yeah, man, I feel like it's so lit that the fact that we're doing this. Like,
Facts,
do you get what I
facts.
mean? So yeah, shout out to us. And again, a massive thank you to Arthur Ashe Legacy at UCLA. That was a long ass intro. So
No, but well said.
Eugene,
Well said.
how are you?
Well said. I'm good, Lucy, man. It's been a tiring. I say tiring. That's not the right word. It's been a long day, but a good day.
Yeah.
As day one at Wimbledon always is.
Mm-hmm.
The sun was beating our ass today.
Bro, guys, all of yous are out here always complaining about the fact that it's always raining and stuff. We had the sun, boy. Like even some of the American players were even like, bro, like this is actually
normal.
different. No, like I mean, it's different to what they used to.
Okay.
Like obviously it is always hot in America, but when it come here, it's not this hot. So it's like we're not actually really used to this in here, but obviously at home is different. But yeah, I'm not mad at it. Listen, I'm tan. I will take this over the rain
all day
and let it continue. Like they did say before the summer started that there's going to be a heat wave, and I was hoping it's going to be during Wimbledon. And Wimbledon actually did make, I think I saw an announcement that says that this was actually the hottest Wimbledon opening day ever.
Yeah.
So that's just to show to you literally how hot like it was today.
Mad.
So yeah.
Very, very mad.
But yeah.
We're going to get into the matches?
Let's get into the matches because we've had 7 matches today.
Nearly 7 wins.
Nearly 7 wins. Six wins. We just had 1 suspension because of time. We'll get into that. But yeah, very stacked day, but a very great day. The first match of the day was
Big foe, Francis Tiafoe, 12th seed.
Mm-hmm.
Made light work of the Dane Elmer Müller.
Yes,
who
he did.
I'd never heard of, just being real. I'd never heard of him.
I haven't heard of him either.
And apparently that was Elmer's first match, Müller's first match on grass, which I find fascinating. But yeah, Tiafoe was just too good.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, like from the first set, he was leading and he broke twice early. It did take a little bit of time for, is it Müller?
Müller, yeah.
Müller to pick up. But now that you said that this was actually his first grass, his first time playing on grass, it makes sense. But he played really well. But overall, Francis just looked really comfortable.
Solid.
He serves were great. He was hitting with a lot of power.
Yeah.
And each beginning of the first of the sets, he broke first. He was getting that done out of the way. And I feel like once you do that at the beginning, that's it. Just
get the early break.
Make sure that you just stick to that, and then we can close the match. That's exactly what he did. But back to his power, funny enough, I've said the same thing about Shelton a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
I'm starting to wonder if it's a thing of grass allows them to play with more power or pushes them to play with more power. But I think Shelton, for instance, I've noticed to be fair, I just feel like Shelton has been trying to change his game style. But Francis specifically, I've felt like he has been gradually playing with more of that power as well. But I actually did ask him about that during his press. And here's what he actually said. I feel like people don't really talk about your level of power, which I feel like has been increasing a lot, especially today and this season. Have you been working on that a lot with David recently, or it just happens, or it just depends on the day?
I'm glad you say that, because a lot of people don't classify me as a big hitter or nothing like that, or a creative player. A lot of people classify me. I can definitely pump the ball for sure. They want me to definitely do it more than I do. Sometimes I can Kind of, I don't hit the ball as hard as I can at times. Kind of work the point a little too much. And I think now guys are hitting the ball so big, so you want to kind of max tempo and just let it all out. So yeah.
I'm so glad I actually asked this question.
And I think he liked it as well. It's like, I'm so glad you asked
it. Yeah, because it's true. And for me, we've said this so many times on the pod about black players, how they're always lazily being labeled the same way. Oh,
great athlete,
this and that. But I don't think Francis get enough credit for actually being a powerful hitter. He might not do it every single time, but when he does it, it's actually unbelievable. And I think a lot of times it comes out a lot on the different surfaces. Like this year, I saw a lot during clay season. And then today, there were some shots he was hitting. I was like, this is actually like, he's breezing through. Like, this is crazy.
The ball, definitely.
Yeah, exactly. So, guys, please credit Tiafoe more. He is an all-round player anyways, in general.
Facts. I did think as well, this match being, because he'd only, coming into Wimbledon, he only had the one match, and that was at Queen's. And that was a defeat to Dan Evans.
Mm-hmm.
But, and again, it's something we say often, like, when Grand Slams come around, players step up.
Especially Francis.
And this is what I'm just going to say. Tiafoe of late, he's become more dependable, I feel, like at the majors. Like he's getting the wins he should be getting, basically, and like beating the players he's supposed to be beating, like at the Grand Slams. The French Open that just before this, reaching the quarterfinals, like his deepest run to date. And again, that performance today against Muller. I think we can't get too carried away because Muller's like, he's outside the top 100. But at the same time, it was a very professional performance.
Of course. And
listen,
and like you said earlier, just now, Grand Slams are Grand Slam. We've seen some upsets from the matches that obviously we didn't cover.
Exactly. Yeah.
Whereas like, whoa, like this player's lost. Do you get what I mean? Like we literally saw some top seeds
100%.
Losing back to back
top
today.
10 seeds,
Top 10 seeds. Or some who are not top 10 seed, but you didn't expect them to lose, like Ostapenko. Do you get what I mean? So it is what it is. But very, very, very solid match from Francis, especially as you said that he came into Wimbledon with not that many matches. But next he actually faces another Brit again, Cam Norrie. Their head-to-head is 2-1 to Francis.
Looking forward to that.
But they've only played each other on hard court. And I think if Francis plays the way that he plays today, he will be good.
Too much. Yeah.
At the same time, the Brits love to wake up during grass season. Even today, actually, the LTA did announce that I feel like this is like the most wins we've had from like Brits at Wimbledon,
wow.
like in a very long time.
On opening day.
Or something like that. Open it. All I know is that it was a good stat. So shout out to the Brits. I mean, Katie Walter, she literally beat Badosa, which is huge. So looking forward to that match with Francis and Cam Norrie. And then who did we have next?
Madison Keys. Australian Open champion.
Madison Keys, we did.
So she's a 6th seed this year at Wimbledon. And she got through against Alina Gabriela Rus. And again, that was a free setter.
Yeah.
They actually met in Australia.
They did. I forgot about that.
And again, that was also a free setter. And I've got here my notes. Obviously, the last time Keys played Rusa at a Grand Slam, she went on to win it. I suppose she's your pick.
I think so. She is my pick.
Yes.
So she did scare me a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, she did scare me a little bit. And I think someone actually tweeted the same thing that you said, actually, funny enough. But yeah, I was a bit scared because the match was pretty interesting. That match was so interesting because
very up and down.
Yeah, because Ruse actually wasn't 100%.
Yeah.
I think she wasn't feeling well, and the heat made it worse.
Yeah, definitely.
Like at one point, literally, like on the first set, she just kept on coughing. And I think like the beginning of second set, she had like a medical timeout, and literally they were checking her blood pressure.
And
like
she went off court as well.
Yeah, and then she went off court and everything, like for a hot minute as well. And then she somehow, and when she was playing, when she came back, she broke Keys, and I was so like shaking her head, like she was like, bro, I don't even know how I'm even like winning this, like it makes no sense. Whereas with Keys, I just kind of feel like, first, I've always felt like Keys a great grass player. I do feel like Keys, however, the grass, before she got to Wimbledon, I did notice that she was dealing with a lot of errors.
Okay.
So even from when I watched her HSBC championships, there were quite a few errors from her, which I was a little bit like concerned about. I do think maybe
when you say errors, like what particular wing?
like she was
or...
in like she was like when she was trying to hit winners, it was just going long. Her serves were like a bit up and down, and it was basically the same thing today. And funny enough, even Berlin, she had an early first round exit, and her errors was just like completely off. I do wonder as well, we need to keep in mind that the grass season kind of changed in the UK. So for instance, she will normally go to Eastbourne, like Keys normally goes to Eastbourne often. She's a 2-time champion there. And obviously Eastbourne has been downgraded to 50. So, you know, because of rankings and stuff, she couldn't get in and so on. So
such a silly rule, but yeah.
I know, yeah. So but she pushed through on that last set. And yeah, it was still a great match, but I do want to give Bruce like her credit, because she was even dealing, at one point she was dealing with cramps where she was like shaking her legs.
That was tough to
and
watch.
She couldn't go on the medical timeout because it literally happened in the middle of the match. So a massive shout out to her.
The game.
Yeah, because you always say you don't like it when players like don't like continue and stuff.
Don't hot me up.
but she didn't do that. She fought through.
Exactly.
And I feel like if it was another player, she probably would have won that match because Keys knew what to do. But yeah, so it was up and down.
Massive
but yeah.
credit though to Keys as well, because to come through a 3-setter like that, like opening round, that's tough.
Yeah.
And she kind of said it in press as well. Like it's always tricky that first round match because there's just pressure there.
Yeah.
Like to just basically, especially as a top seed, like you're expected to win. So, and Roos is a good player. Like she's made deep runs at Grand Slams before. Like so to have her first round, that is a tough draw
for sure.
But yeah, Keys came through, and she's never lost a first round match at Wimbledon. So she's 11-0 when it comes to first round matches at Wimbledon. And this is the only slam where she's basically yet to lose in the first round, which I think is also it's worth shouting about. Like it's a big deal
for sure.
So yeah, shouts out to Keys.
And she is facing a Czech Republic player, Danilovic.
Olga Danilovic.
Yes. So that should be fine. But then again,
she's actually Serbian.
Oh, Serbian, my bad. Sorry.
Yeah.
Well, even the Serbians, child, on the grass, there's some. So yeah, a massive good luck to Keys. And yeah, a great match. Who did we have next? Sorry, I just noticed something. This was very bad. I didn't say the scores of the first 2 matches that Daniel won. But yeah, Francis won in 3 sets. Keys won in 3 sets. But I'll make sure that moving forward, I actually say the actual numbers. Sorry, guys. It is nearly midnight here. So who's next who won, please?
Felix Auger-Aliassime, the 25th seed. Again, that was a
5-setter,
tussle,
right?
or 5-set tussle with James Duckworth, the Australian.
So it was 6-3, 3-6... 6-7, 6-4, 6-4. Now I remember why I don't say the scores. You watch a lot of that match.
I say it a lot. I mean, I was watching from the balcony because it's just easy kind of access.
Yeah.
And yeah, like, I mean, we posted it. I was like, basically Felix is cruising. Like first set looked very comfortable. I think he won it 6-3 there. Second set as well. I think up until about 2-all. That's where Duckworth broke. And then like. Felix basically fell off, and I was like, damn, like what's going on here? Yeah. But to his credit, he stuck with it. And that's one thing about Duckworth too. Like, again, Felix he's the better player, but Duckworth, like, he doesn't go away. So basically he's one of those players where you're gonna have to grind him down. Yeah. And he's gonna be there for the grind, like with you. So that's why, like, I give Felix a lot of credit, because again, that's a tough opening round to kind of come through.
For sure.
Technically, yes, he could have won it in straight sets, possibly 4.
Yeah.
But I also feel like, and again, you'll probably disagree with me, to come through a 5-setter in your opening round, like, that's good going. And I also want to say, for the past, I know definitely last year, Felix lost first round at Wimbledon, which was tough. And I want to say the year before that as well, even. So to kind of put that record right.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
To put that record right this year, like, hopefully that stands in me good stead. And I want to see that third round match against you know who. Who also came through a 5-set like
bro, I don't know what happened there. But before we jump to that, he is facing Jan-Lennard Struff,
the German,
next. So yeah, that should be an interesting match. But a massive shout out to Felix. I feel like he needed a match like that, especially at a Grand Slam. So yeah, really hope that he goes far. Okay, and who do we have next, Eugene?
Jazzy,
the Queen of Italy. Now, the Queen of Italy kind of scared me, child. Okay, that was a little bit scary. To be fair,
I think she scared herself.
Later in the afternoon, it was quite difficult for us to.
This is where it gets mad.
It gets a bit mad, because the matches are on and also press conferences are on at the same time, and all the matches were on at the same time. But yeah, so Jasmine was playing against Sevastova, and it was a 3-setter, 2-6, 6-3, 6-2, and that first set, listen, it ended really quickly.
Wow!
Like I literally turned around. I was like, "Whoa!" I was like, "Wait, hold on," but shouldn't be too surprising. She is still like a solid player.
As in Sevastova,
yeah, exactly, yeah. But
she's got such like nice like touch and feel, like which is obviously great for grass, like, and that was giving Paolini a lot of trouble early on. But again, massive credit to Jasmine, because she basically settled herself, and then in the second set, kind of took over. Yeah, like, and it was. I think when she broke in the second set, I left the match because I was like, I need to go to someone's press. Yeah, but I was confident that she would basically go on and get the job done, and it turned out that was the case. And it was also funny too, because after the match, she admitted during the on-court interview how like she was nervous basically at the start, and that kind of played into how she was how she started the match, because
I mean, defending champion,
this is the thing,
and we need to remember as well, last year was the first time like she literally even made it past the first round. So as much as she's done this before last year, she hasn't done this a lot of times, like going past first round. And it wasn't a thing she didn't go past first round because she was bad. It was a thing where she had really tough draws. I remember like, I think it was 2 years back to back, or there was a year break where she was literally facing Petra, literally first round. I was just like, guys, come on, like, this is actually crazy.
Nuts.
So she always had tough draws. But I'm really glad that she was able to push through and to secure this match, to be honest.
I found it interesting too. She said, and when I went to her press, I did ask her about it, about basically things changed for her when she started to smile more. And like, again, Jasmine Paolini, that's one thing she's pretty much known for, was her smile. Like, always happy, or always seems happy on the court. And I thought it was interesting as well, the fact that she knows that it's kind of, that's part of her like DNA, if you will. Like, that's what makes her the player she is, basically. Like having that kind of positive attitude and mentality. And it's crazy, Lucy, like, not to get too deep, but like just having a smile on your face, that could change a lot of things, like in life. Like just your outlook, like the way you see things, like, and in tennis as well, like it's a mental sport. So of course you need to be like in the best possible like kind of mind frame. And the more positive the better, clearly. So that's what basically happened for Jasmine today. And yeah, she was able to turn the match around.
Yeah.
And close it out like pretty comfortably in the end.
Yeah, so, for sure, yeah.
Yeah, and big shout out to her.
She is facing Kamila Rakimova.
Exactly. Russian.
Guys, I'm getting there, man, with the names. Don't watch that. But yeah, so that should be a good one.
Yeah.
Like I said, even during our Wimbledon draw pod, her draw to me looks pretty good till like the quarterfinals. I think that's when it gets a bit tough.
I think that third round is going to be tough.
Probably, yeah. She could have.
I'm expecting her to come through the second round in straight sets.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Anyways, we'll see. So a massive shout out to Paolini for securing that match. Who do we have next that won a match? I believe is Osaka. Naomi Osaka. Very good match. Shout out to everyone who saw me on ESPN.
The bait is caught.
Oh gosh.
Hot you up.
Yeah, so I got like a lot of like tweets saying that people saw me and stuff. And guys, there was also this thing about like I look calm. Just a reminder, media can't go crazy. So I'm there as BSG, not the number one Naomi fan, even though I am, okay?
This is Naomi Osaka stan account.
Exactly. And forever will be. Get to know, okay? So yeah, my BTEC drama did help with me keeping, my face composed and not go too crazy.
Pretty actress Lucy.
But believe me, in my head, I was like, oh my gosh, especially that second set. But yes.
Because she played an Australian qualifier, Talia Gibson.
Yep.
Again, I'd not known much about her.
Same. One thing I will say, so she won that match 6-4, 7-6. One thing I will say about that match, especially from Gibson, is that there was a lot of ball striking, which at times threw off Osaka, and at times it was okay for Osaka because the ball strike, the way she was doing some of her ball strike is like there was a lot of like power as well.
She was a big hitter.
And Osaka's a very big hit. I feel like she was hitting way bigger before, like a couple of years ago. But I feel like because she's experienced with that, she knows what to do and how to like return it back. So a lot of times, the ball strike, especially the first set, she was able to, go back to it and just return properly. But yeah, like anytime Gibson was close to break, Osaka was just there, like to just defend it or like to just block it away. The last game of the first set, like Osaka was just returning way better, and it allowed her to break and then just win that set. It was a very good set point, by the way. Great winner. Set. Yeah. I will say it's funny how I felt like when I was watching the match, although she was serving good, especially the first set, I will say her second serve was something that definitely she needed to work on a little bit. But speaking of her serve, she actually did speak about it during her press. Shout out to the Japanese press. They were asking a lot of good tactical questions and questions about her playing style. Yeah, that's what I'm going to say. Even though my questions were not really that related, but anyways. But yeah, this was about her serves and stuff. And I highly recommend watching the whole press if Wimbledon posted. But yeah, this is what she had to say.
Yeah, I think honestly, even in Berlin, but in Bad Homburg, like my serve was really good actually. That's honestly how I won my first match. We were just both serving. So I feel like on grass, my serve would be really dangerous. And I'm hoping to learn more about that with Patrick. But I think also since it's so fast, I don't know. I think footwork wise, I need to learn how to react better. And obviously I have a big swing on both sides. So just kind of keeping it more compact. And I'll probably watch a lot of videos of the really good grass court players.
That was very interesting when she said that, because number one, I think the main where do I even start with this? Because her press was really, there's a lot of things that she put, like she answered different questions, but they all like made sense, because during the English press, she also did mention how, ironically, like she can't believe she won a clay title other than grass, because she always felt like her game fit grass better. And when she said that, I was like, girl, I feel the same way. The first time I became like an Osaka fan, or I had my eyes on Osaka, was actually a Wimbledon match. And I watched it and I was like, this girl's going to be top 10. I literally tweeted it. And later that year, she actually won her first Grand Slam. She shocked me when she fast forwarded. But it's very true. I feel like if she gave herself a little bit more time on the surface, I think her serve will definitely fit better. And I feel like once she gets her footwork done, which she did pretty well today, I'm not going to lie, you can see that Gibson's plan was to make Osaka move a lot. Yeah. And it worked, but you can tell that Osaka was definitely working a lot more on her footwork, which is great to see.
She was ready for it.
She was ready for it. Her errors were way lower than all her previous grass matches that we've watched this grass season. But I really think it's funny because everyone was always like, Cleomi. I've always felt like grass was for her.
Grassaka.
I've always felt like grass is for her. I just think when you look at the amount of grass matches like she's played, is nowhere the same as the others. It's a little bit like Venus Williams and clay. Venus Williams barely played clay. She played clay like once or twice.
I can get with that. Cycle on grass.
I can honestly, I really, really, really hope so. I just think, like I've said this so many times, I just feel like with grass, it just takes a lot of time and moments. But
what was the atmosphere like? Because it seemed like there was a lot of, there's always a lot of love for her, but it did seem like, there were a lot of like fans.
Well, you do know the UK is full of Aussies. So there were a lot of Aussie fans for sure. But whenever like Osaka was pumped up, the others were pumped up. I feel like depending on the matches with the UK crowd, if the player goes like, come on, they all go crazy. Yeah. I feel like players have to lead for the rest to follow and go all in. Yeah. But like obviously with the media seating, I was with Gibson's camp, which was funny because everyone was like clapping. And I was just there standing like, okay. And speaking of that, there was actually a very interesting moment because obviously because I was sitting there, I was right behind Gibson's coach. And Gibson's coach, I think was right before it was about to go into a tie break.
In the second.
Gibson coach tells Gibson, serve wide. She was like, okay, cool. Like, because Gibson even turned around, was like, what did you say? She was like, serve wide. She was like, all right, cool. Eugene, those were the easiest returns that Osaka did. Interesting. And the second that happened, it clicked to, I chuckled because I was like, I find it interesting that people always talking about how like, we shouldn't do on-court coaching and blah, blah, blah. And this is a perfect example of why I think that's absolute nonsense. I was about to
for want of a better word.
I was trying to, it's absolute nonsense because to me, it's like no matter how many times a coach will yap and yap and yap, at the end of the day, it's down to the player. 100%. She served, whether she served wide well, whether she didn't do it well, it did not matter at the end of the day. But it was just that very interesting because every time everyone's talking about the whole coaching thing, Fritz just talked about it on Garcia's podcast and he was like, yeah, no, I'm not for it, just traditions, blah, blah, blah. But
old school.
Guys, at the end of the day, it doesn't take away the fact that is the player that has to do that. So yeah, a massive shout out to the girls for a match. We don't know yet who Osaka is facing next because that match has been suspended and it is a very tough one. She could face Qin Wanzhang, which would be nice. Fifth seed, a little Asian, second round. Hey, why not?
China versus Japan. That's crazy.
Let's go. Shout out to our Asian listeners out there. Or she could face double Wimbledon champion Taylor Townsend's partner, Katerina Siniakova. So it's going to be pretty interesting. So that match has been suspended. It was a long day, a lot of long matches. Even though there was no rain delay, there was just very long matches. So yeah, massive shout out to Osaka though. Straight sets, very clean. We just need to work on more on the second serve for sure. I think that's one thing that will definitely help her. But she looked good. I'm not gonna lie, she looked good.
That's good to hear. Next match,
the number one in Guinea.
Stand up. Gabriel
Diallo.
I thought he was fantastic, man. So Daniel Altmaier was his opponent, German. Again, solid player. But yeah, Diallo was just too good.
Yeah, so he won his match 6-1, 6-2, 6-4. Straight sets. Amazing.
And this was his debut, Wimbledon debut, main draw debut. So his first time, like, literally walking through the gates, like, because obviously qualifying, I think he played qualifying 2 years, but I think he reached the second round of qualifying, never reached third round. And obviously qualifying's played at Hampton, not on the grounds.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is his first year being on the grounds at SW19. And that match he played today, like I say today, it's yesterday now, but yeah, Lucy, he looked like he'd been here 3, 4, 5 years in a row. Like, it's just a routine thing.
Very comfortable.
So comfortable. And yeah, I was really impressed. And to be honest, it's something we shouldn't really be surprised about, because obviously he's won
the
grass court title exactly
his
recently.
First title.
Confidence is clearly high and rightly like quite right.
Yeah.
And it's just it's basically the more I watch Diallo, the more excited I get. Like, because it's like, how good could this guy really be? And honestly, I don't know. I don't want to like I don't want to hype it too much, but I see a top 30 player in there. And for me,
100%.
When you hit,
do you know what's crazy? I actually sorry to cut you off. I opened TikTok and someone said, they see Diallo being a top 10 player soon, and he had like 2K likes, and I was like, raw.
This is what I'm saying.
Diallo's getting them fans.
Because why I say top 30 is like basically you're going to be seeded at the majors. And for me, when you're in that kind of arena, like,
that's it.
You're in.
Yeah.
So from there, you can do top 20, top 15, top 10.
Yep. Well said.
I see that happening for him because the progression has been. It's been steady, but also it's been quite quick.
It's been, especially this season.
This is what I'm saying.
Especially this season.
So, yeah, I feel like as well, he's the kind of player, he likes the big moment.
He does.
In terms of the bigger the tournament, the better he plays.
He definitely embraces
exactly
the win and the success that he has made so far.
Yet
in a very humble and respectful way really as well.
Good guy.
Like the other journalists I've spoken to about him, they always say like, yeah, he's well raised, very like respectful. So a massive shout out to Diallo for his season so far. But yeah, you went to his press.
I did. Yeah, it was quite a long one again because he speaks so well. Like, he's one of those players. Like, he doesn't just give like short answers. He gives like very detailed, considered answers, which is you appreciate.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just asked him about the match and like basically the matchup against Altmaier and like how he played. And yeah, this is what he said.
Yeah. I mean, I played really. I was really sharp. I don't think I served maybe as good as I wanted to, but like the rest was as good as it gets. From the baseline, returning, my movement was everything was as good as it gets on from my side. And yeah, I mean, like I said, I was so fired up and amped up to be here and to play my first Wimbledon. So I try to come out the gates and just try to take it to him as much as I can. And luckily today was very successful.
You took a slip as well in the third set.
Yeah.
Are you okay? Like what was?
Yeah. I'm okay. I'm fine. Yeah, it's just when the sun goes down, the grass gets a little slippery. Which was fine until that happened, but yeah, I was good.
So yeah, like again, you guys probably heard that, like in terms of how just confident he was, and like how happy he was with his baseline game. He said everything was pretty much working for him. And I think when you have days like that, like that sets you up quite nicely for the rest of the tournament,
for sure.
And it's a shame who he will. The possible next round opponent.
Ah, boy. And funny enough, they are they actually couldn't finish their match.
Yet to finish.
So he could face Taylor Fritz
5th seed.
or Giovanni Pecci Pericard. So yeah, which I think will be a great segue actually, funny enough, because that's our last match of the day. So that match was so late that they actually moved it to court one. It was supposed to be in court 2, I believe, or something like that. Yeah.
After Paolini.
Which I'm glad that they did. And it made me realize, Eugene, court 1 is actually superior to central court. Court. Yeah. The vibe is different. Especially when the roof is like closed. And the thing is, I don't know, like the fans are like cheering for like everyone and stuff. And I feel it's weird. It's like it's big, but it's intimate at the same time.
I hear you. And the roof being closed.
Yeah. When I think about like the very vibrant matches, when they're in court 1, the energy is different. I remember watching Laurent Luculi as well on court 1. It was really good as well. The energy was great. So that was a great match. You did say, I was scared when I saw that matchup, in all honesty, mainly because Fritz has been on form and so on. However, which I actually did mention on the Wimbledon draw, is that his Grand Slam results this year have not been the best. So that he hasn't made it to any second week at Australian Open or French Open. I think French Open even lost the first round as well. So both of the first 2 sets went into tiebreak, where it actually did go for Giovanni. So
massive credit to him for that as well.
7-6, 7-6, and then the third set for it 6-4, and then fourth set 7-6. That fourth set I generally thought this match was going to be over to be a GMP. He actually was leading the tiebreak, even a little bit. I think he could have even won it right before as well. He was leading the tiebreak at 5-2.
Something like that. I want to say he had a double. Was it a double? I'm not sure if it was a double break, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
He had a good lead.
He had a very good lead, and then unfortunately the errors came in, but there was very fun rallies between the two. It was very intense to the point where obviously when the fourth set was done, there was this, they were having a discussion and stuff about if they should continue the match or not. Surprisingly, Fritz wanted to continue. I was actually surprised that he wanted to. I actually thought he would want to end it.
Interesting. No, I'm
GMP didn't really look like he really said much, to be fair.
Yeah.
But Fritz looked like he was annoyed.
I think Fritz deserves credit too, because the way he came back in that fourth set tiebreak from being fourth, was it 5-1? I can't remember, it's 4-5-1, but and the roar he let off at the end of it, he was like, I think he swore. Like,
did he?
I'm pretty sure he swore. Let's go. Like, I understood that. Like, and I wasn't. Of course, I was disappointed for Giovanni, but then at the same time, I was like, this is a top 5 guy. Like, this is to be expected, basically. But then at the same time, you see, it's now a 1-set shootout on day 2, and if Giovanni comes out playing the way he played on day 1, he's got a hell of a chance.
Yeah.
Also, we must say, so he hit the biggest serve like in Wimbledon history. I think 153 miles per hour.
Oh wow.
Just an absolute bomb. Like that guy's arm.
It's crazy.
I don't know, man. Like it's insane. So,
and shout out to his coach, who's the funniest guy ever. He gives us nothing. He's just there sitting down. It was only the last tie break where he was clapping a little bit. Other than that, his whole box would be like, yeah. The fans would be like, yeah. And literally, his coach is not even flinching. Nothing. Just there. Just watching.
He's a bit of a legend, actually. Like well known in France.
Okay. I mean, Giovanni always spoken very highly about him. Remember even last year as well.
Emmanuel Planck.
Yeah, they've been together for years. Exactly. They have a good relationship as well.
And you can see that as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But no, man, I still feel good about Pericard.
Yeah.
And this match in terms of him being able to close out. Of course, Fritz now has every chance because they have. You know, it's going to be played the next day now. So there's time to like reflect and like, regroup. So maybe it does give Fritz the slight advantage because now, I'm sure Pericard's going to be thinking about that tiebreak and how he was up, like basically 2 points away from winning the match. But again, man, this is tennis. It's like you got to come back and fight again. So I'm pretty sure he'll take this in terms of saying, I'm a set away from basically beating the 5th seed. Like, it's not a bad position to be in.
Not at all.
So
not at all. But yeah, so
we look forward to that.
We shall see. We don't really have. What's the schedule out to know when that match is going to be?
Yeah. So again, they'll have to fit that in somewhere.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Well, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, massive good luck to the fellas for that. In closing, here are the matches for day 2. So we have Watson and Towson.
Clara Towson.
Towson.
Who's actually seeded as well, I want to say.
Okay, yeah. So that's to be the morning match.
Oh, that's first on?
Yeah, first on, yeah. And another Brit, Jay Clark and Dan Evans. Going to be very interesting, that one.
Let's go.
We also have our boyfriend of the pod, Christopher Eubanks, against De Jong. We also have the one and only Guy Monfils against Hugo Humbert.
18th
So,
seed.
the Frenchies, we're going to see you there. Bring your energy like you brought your energy at Court 1 today. It was wonderful. I really loved it. We have the one and only Hailey Baptiste, who's been having a great season, against Kirstia, who she actually did beat recently on clay, I believe, in Madrid in 3 sets. Should be a good, easy win again. Up next, popcorn match for me, in my opinion. Kenin versus Taylor Townsend.
I'll tell you that.
That'll be very interesting.
28 seed Kenin.
Yep. Who's been, grinding. Townsend as well. She's been doing really well qualifying. Obviously, doubles still killing it. We also have our boy Shelton versus Bolt.
Then 10.
We also have Alicia Parks versus Benchik. And last but not least, Big Coco, RG champion, 2-time Grand Slam champion against Yastremska.
on center. He's last on center.
Last on center court.
And I'm just looking, so the Fritz Pecci Pericard match, that's going to be played second on number 1. So after Sinanadi, which is good.
Oh, you number 1 ticket holders are eating. Because I think Draper's on number 1 as well.
Yeah, he's last on number 1. Yeah.
So that's really good. So yeah, shout out to. Yeah, it's going to be a good day too. I can't believe I forgot to mention this at the beginning. And I really hope some people, our Brits, are still here listening. Guys, do not forget.
It's coming home. Sorry.
I was trying to promote our watch party at Box Park, Croydon. That's right, guys. What an opportunity. A massive thank you to Box Park for collaborating with us for a free watch party on Sunday, 4th round, 6th of July. Come through at Playbox at Box Park, Croydon. Can't wait for this. This is such a big deal for us.
It's our first event,
first event.
And
to our US listeners, Box Park is a big venue, so this is really, really massive deal. And it made me think, I have been thinking about it, we do have to also treat our US
100%,
listeners.
100%.
So I don't know. We need to think about it, Eugene, maybe a little live podcast show and, a little party after a watch party or something, or I don't know, guys, you let us know what you feeling. But all we know, US Open is in a couple weeks, and we'll see. But other than that, guys, I really hope that you guys enjoyed our day 1 recap. Stay tuned on our socials. Although we do the daily pods, we also tweet live our matches and Instagram posts and TikTok. We try our best. We really try. So a massive thank you for tuning in and listening in. Make sure that you please rate, subscribe, comment, send this to your friends, your family, your side girl, even your haters, just whatever, man. And hope you also look forward tomorrow to the other oral history of Arthur Ashe. We're giving you all the content, guys. BSG is here for the range.
Content.
So yeah, see you at day 2 at Wimbledon and have a great day or evening.
Take care, guys.